In 1980, there was a world champion that nobody wanted to face. Danny López, WBC featherweight champion for 4 years, a man with a right hook that had ended careers in the blink of an eye. Then a 21-year-old Mexican appeared, a man almost nobody had heard of. No name, no fame, no respect. Only with two hands that were about to change the history of boxing. Salvador Sánchez was not the typical prospect who came to boxing with everything in his favor. He had lost, he had drawn, and the fans and promoters had written him off before he could prove his worth. But Sánchez had something that very few fighters have: intelligence inside the ring. He intentionally matched his opponent's level, not because he couldn't do more, but because he enjoyed dominating in different ways. Studying, experimenting, learning in every fight. His coach described him as a technician with knockout power, a combination that boxing rarely sees. On the other side was Danny López, nicknamed Little Red, 4 years as WBC champion, 4 successful title defenses, an extravagant and electric fighter who bled in almost every fight, but almost always ended up winning by knockout. With a right hand that could finish anyone in the featherweight division at any moment.
Kaya!
His record included victories over the lineal champion, Chucho Castillo, and the legendary Rubén Olivares. And by 1980, he was the most well-known name in the division. And Sánchez was simply the unknown challenger that no one expected to win. February 12, 1980, 1280 Phoenix, Arizona. On one side was the champion, on the other the unknown. From the first round it was clear this wouldn't go as expected. Sánchez came out with a composure that no one had ever seen before in someone so young. Moving, studying, landing precise combinations that made the champion step back. López tried to respond with his famous right hand. Sánchez dodged it, as if he had seen it coming since the day before. By the 4th round, López had a cut over his right eye, and Sánchez was starting to turn that wound into his favorite delivery target. Round after round, the unknown Mexican took the champion apart, piece by piece, with patience, with intelligence, without rushing. López tried everything he knew how to do. His right hand, his pressure, his champion's heart that had gotten him out of worse situations. López always had an answer. By the 8th round, the judges had only given López 2 rounds. The champion was being outclassed in a way he had never experienced in his long career. The final rounds were an exhibition. Sánchez landed combinations from every angle while López absorbed the punishment with the dignity of a champion who knows he's losing but doesn't know how to give up. Thank you. In the 13th round, the referee saw enough. Tramp. He stopped the fight. Salvador Sánchez, 21 years old, new WBC featherweight world champion. The unknown had just become a legend. But this story wouldn't end here. A year later, López activated his rematch clause. He still believed he could regain his title. Paper said he was too old, that he should retire, that his time had left. López didn't want to hear any of that. Just hadn't been idle. He had defended his title against Rubén Castillo and kept growing as a champion. He was no longer the unknown fighter from the first match. He was a star in Mexico, and the boxing world was beginning to see why. This time the slogan was no longer Little Red versus Little Blue. It was the dominant champion against the ghost of what once was. From the first round, Sánchez showed that the year that had passed had made him better, faster, more precise, more dangerous. López came out with determination. In the fourth round, he had his best moment of the two fights, landing some power punches that shook the champion. But Sánchez had a chin that absorbed López's punishment, as if they were just pats, and he paid him back with interest. Round after round, Sánchez dominated with an almost cruel superiority. His combinations landed from impossible angles. His movement was impossible for López to figure out. By the ninth round, López had no answers left. Then, the 14th round came. Sánchez decided that it was enough. He stopped playing, stopped experimenting, and went after López with everything he had. The referee stopped the fight. Technical knockout in the 14th round. Sánchez's second victory over López. This time, there was no doubt who was best. Sánchez was 21 years old when he took the title from Danny López, and in the next 2 years, he became one of the most dominant fighters the world had ever seen. In August 1982, he tragically died in a traffic accident in Mexico at just 23 years old. The boxing world never knew what it missed.